Hello, my lovely library lions. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure to subscribe down below for new content. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Today, I wanted to do the burn, rewrite, reread tag. I've seen a lot of people do it, and it seems like a lot of fun. So, I have here a box that my best friend made me. It's Harry Potter themed. It's a little jewelry box. Inside, I've cut out the names of a bunch of my favorite books. I'm going to pull out 3 at random and see which one I want to burn, which one I want to rewrite, and which one I would reread. I love every book in this box for a different reason. It's going to be really hard to pick between them. Not sure how many rounds I have set up, but I'll just keep going till the box is empty. So I'm not going to peek. I think that was 3. So I have Seraphina by Rachel Hartman, Legend Born by Tracy Dion, and Unwind by Neil Shusterman. So these are pretty hard. I'm going to reread Legend Born. Legend Born is so good. There's no way I'm rewriting or burning it, so that one's easy. Definitely going to reread Legend Born. I like both Seraphina and Unwind. I think they're both good stories. Which one would I guess I would rewrite Unwind because I feel like that premise is really strong. It's a really good premise and I feel like there's so much potential in it. And I would burn Seraphina. I'd be really sad about it, but that's the one that I would burn. I really love the story, but I think that Rachel Hartman's writing is what makes it so good. I think that her world building and her writing and her characters are what make Seraphina worth reading and not necessarily just the premise. So I don't think that I would be able to rewrite it to an equivalent value. Okay, we are going to pick again. 1, 2, 3. So we have Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. These 3 are all pretty good. I think I would reread The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I really liked that book. I really liked Luke, and I think other than the ending, it was a pretty good read. Actually, you know what? I would rewrite The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I would just rewrite it exactly the same, but get rid of the epilogue. I think without the epilogue, it's much stronger, which means I would reread Only Ever Yours. I haven't seen much about it on Booktube. It's a great dystopian book. I think it's one of the better ones that's come out recently. It's just essentially about a future where women are far more common than men, so several women have to serve several men, and they're trained their whole lives to serve a man either as a wife, a concubine, or as a nun, training future women to be wives and concubines. And that means I would burn Strange the Dreamer, which is so sad because it's such a good book. But again, I think in the case of Strange the Dreamer, it's Laini Taylor's writing that makes it beautiful. I don't necessarily know that the story itself is what I'm attached to. It's the beautiful writing and prose that Laini Taylor has. Let's go again. Ooh, there we go. I think this is 2. I think that's 2 stuck together. So we have The Princess and the Fangirl, one of my favorite contemporaries ever written. I love Ashley Poston's Once Upon a Con series. It is so good. We have The Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling, which is my favorite Harry Potter book. So, very attached to that. And A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. So, I know immediately I want to rewrite A Court of Mist and Fury. I really love the world that Maas has set up here, and I like the characters a lot, but I feel like the story could be a little better. I definitely would rewrite it to be an adult novel, but not in the way that A Court of Silver Flames was an adult novel. I would want it to not just have a lot of sex in it, but be sexy. I think I would be a little gentler on Tamlin. I don't think he deserved to be... Sarah J. Maas does it to every first love of her book. She just destroys their character in the sequel, so I think I would be a little gentler on Tamlin. I wouldn't let him win, but I would let him still have some dignity. I guess I would burn The Princess and the Fangirl. I love it, but I'm not as attached to contemporaries as I am to fantasy books, so I'm sad to lose it because it's the best contemporary series there is, but I'll live. I'll live without it, and I will reread Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This had some potential to be a rewrite, but I would rather rewrite A Court of Mist and Fury. There's a lot to rewrite in the Harry Potter series if you wanted to rewrite it, but A Court of Mist and Fury could definitely use some tweaking. We're starting to get a little low. I think there's 2 or 3 rounds left in here. 2 and 3. Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Loki Where Mischief Lies by Mackenzie Lee. And Heartless by Marissa Meyer. So, yikes. I feel like it's easiest to choose Burn first, so I'll probably burn Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I love the series and I love Jax so much, but I'm not as attached to it as either of these other books. So I'd be really sad to let it go, especially because this is the book that introduces Jax, and without it, I don't really care for the Caraval series. But sacrifices have to be made. I would reread Heartless, so that's a retelling of the Queen of Hearts story. I think Marissa Meyer got a villain story completely right. Her main character is both really easy to root for, easy to get attached to, but you can also see how she became the Queen of Hearts, and I adored it. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite standalones, which means I have to rewrite Loki Where Mischief Lies, which I'm okay with. There are things that I would change about it. I think it was a really good novelization of Loki's character, but it could use some tweaks. I'll try and keep it as close to normal as possible, but I definitely would think about maybe making it longer and maybe making it a series. I think would be a really fascinating series, and I think it just ended on a note where I wanted it to keep going. I wanted more of it. Alrighty, let's see what else we have. Okay, so there's only one more round after this one. And I'm really scared because some of my favorite books are still in there and they're going to come up against each other. We have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and Shine by Jessica Jung. So this is an easy burn for Shine. I'm not burning any of Leigh Bardugo's books, so Shine has to go. I loved you, but again, contemporaries I don't get as attached to as fantasy books. Reread Six of Crows, 100%. It's perfect. There's nothing I could change about Six of Crows. I can't think of a single thing that I would change about it, which means I have to rewrite Ninth House, which is really hard because Ninth House is also very close to perfect, in my opinion. I guess I would maybe want to have more focus on the relationship between Alex and her mother and Alex and Dawes. I feel like those were really good, strong female relationships, and I would like to see them sort of built up. And I think we'll get more of that in the sequel anyways, so I don't know that I'm doing any favors, and I would like to see more of the bridegroom. I think he was a really fascinating ghost, and I don't know, I've never really liked a ghost character before, so I'd really like to see more of him. If I can get the box open. Almost missed that one. So the last 3 books I have in here are The Angel Experiment by James Patterson, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. So I'm going to reread The Cruel Prince. I think that's an amazing book. I think Holly Black wrote it perfectly. Cardan and Jude are amazing together, obviously, and I can't think of anything I would change. I'm going to rewrite The Angel Experiment. Maximum Ride meant so much to me in elementary and high school. I was so attached to the characters and the story. I adored it. There was no series that I loved more than that, but it really went downhill after the third book. It sort of just plummeted into being a pretty bad story. So I think I would want to maybe stop it sooner, but at least take those characters and give them the endings that they deserved. Because I don't know why they made the story go in the route that it went, but it was just really disappointing. And I remember reading the last book and feeling like I wished they hadn't bothered to write it. I would have rather had the ambiguous ending than how it actually ended. And that means I am burning Carry On, which is a tragedy. It has one of my favorite magic systems in fiction right now. It is so fun and light, and I love the relationship between Simon and Baz and Penny, and I like that they're doing a story that continues after the Chosen One's big battle and what it's like to come down from that. But it has to go. It's not as good as either of the other two, so it has to go. I'll be sad to lose it, but I can still read dreary fanfiction, and that's almost the same. So that was my burn, rewrite, reread tag. It was pretty fun to film. I'll probably do another one similar to this eventually. Maybe I'll pick all books I disliked and choose which ones I have to reread. I think it's a really fun idea for a tag, and I really enjoyed filming it. It was really quick and easy to film, and I liked sort of figuring out which books I actually love more than others and which ones I can't let go of when it comes down to it. I look forward to seeing you all next week, I hope, and have a lovely weekend.